Hey everybody, I am Jo if you have not met me before. Today I want to talk about tricking yourself into staying alive. I know that sounds a little bit weird, so let me explain. I like to think of myself as a pretty logical person, but when I started having suicidal thoughts every single day, logic kind of went out the window. I felt everything or I felt nothing all of the time. It was probably less than a week after I was sexually assaulted by someone that I knew, loved, and trusted that I started thinking about killing myself all of the time. It was mostly when I was driving, and I drove a lot for work. I felt like every lamppost or tree on the side of the road was calling for my car to be driven into it. I know it sounds a little bit morbid, but that was the reality of where I was at. I had dealt with depression and suicidal thoughts when I was a teenager before. This hit like a sack of bricks. It was every part of me no longer wanted to exist on planet Earth. And I felt myself slipping. Like I felt myself making plans to leave and be done here. Even though every piece of me wanted to quit, every piece of me wanted to die and be done, I think that there were still pieces of me that wanted to stay here. And so those pieces started tricking me into staying alive, and let me tell you what I mean by that. I knew that I needed to come up with reasons to stay, but the normal reasons, like I have a great family and some good friends and look at all the great things I have in my life, we're not cutting it, not even close, and anyone who has struggled with suicide knows exactly what I mean. Those things were intangible at the time. You're not thinking straight when you're in that frame of mind. So I needed to get creative. I was living alone at the time, and so no one really knew if I came or I went. And so I thought, okay, I need a reason to make it home. So the first thing I did is I went on Craigslist and I found a 7-month-old German Shepherd mutt that needed a home, that wasn't wanted anymore. And I adopted her. I drove down and I just picked her up and I brought her home because I thought, if I don't make it home every day, who's gonna take care of her? I mean, she's gonna die without me. Knowing that that dog, that wonderful dog, was waiting for me at home to eat, to drink, to go outside was just enough to keep me afloat. And she was a lifeline for a long time. She was my best friend when I isolated myself, but I mean, I was still drowning. So one day, by a crazy chain of events, I found myself in an MMA gym down in a bad part of town. I walked in with a friend of mine, and it felt like home. We stayed for a free training session in boxing. And I was like, this is it, I can do this. I got a membership with money I didn't have. I honestly do not know where I found that because I was barely eating. I knew if I could make it every day just to 6 o'clock, it would be time to pack my things and get in my red Jetta and go down to Carlos's 6:30 boxing class. It would last for about 2 hours. By the time I was out of there, I would be exhausted and only have enough energy to come home and pass out and then do it again. And it kind of came back to the whole idea of just keep waking up. Like, just keep going to bed and keep waking up, which is what I tell a lot of people when you're in that dark, dark, dark place. Was MMA fighting and a dog a reason to stay on the planet? For me, at the time, they were. It was almost like I was tricking my mind into staying here, because did that dog need me to stay alive? Like, would she have died if I had died? I mean, someone maybe would have taken care of her, but I told my mind, no, I am responsible for this animal, and so I need to be here to take care of her. And for me, mixed martial arts was a way of making it to the end of every day. If I could just hold on to make it to 6. I would wake up in the morning some days and be like, I cannot do this. I literally cannot make it through today. I need to end it. But I would think, you know what? It's only 7 more hours until Carlos's class. I can do that. I can hang on for 7 hours. And if I could hang on for 7 hours, I'd go to his class, I'd be exhausted, I'd pass out, and maybe the next day would be better. That heaviness and that darkness, when you are stuck in this mindset of wanting to die, is something that you cannot explain to anyone who has not been there. To anyone who is in that frame of mind where every breath feels like agony, and when you wake up, it feels like the worst thing in the world to try to make it through one more day. I understand. I have been there, sincerely. I know what that feels like, and I know that hell. I just want to encourage you that it gets better. It is not forever. And find one thing. For me, that one thing at first was my dog Sadie. It was just enough to keep me hanging on by a thread. Once she was keeping me here, that was just enough so that I could go out and find one more thing to keep me going. And then that brought me to one more thing and one more thing. And now I'm in a place where I still absolutely deal with depression, but I don't think about killing myself all the time, and I am really so grateful to be alive and to get to participate in life. And yes, it's so hard sometimes, but it's also beautiful and so worth sticking around to see. If you need help, please reach out. Please don't do this alone, because I know it feels like you are, but you aren't. You are not weird for feeling this way. You are not alone in feeling this way, and there are people who are here to help you. I provided some resources in the description of this video, a number that you can call right now to get help and to talk to someone, and people are there and they do care. Find a way to trick yourself into staying for one more day, and then one more day, and one more day, and just keep waking up. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jo Beckwith, and if you're interested in seeing other videos like this about surviving sexual assault, domestic violence, depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, take a look at my YouTube channel, my Facebook page. I produce videos like this often, telling my story and hoping to encourage people like you to keep holding on and that life is still worth living. Please take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you next time.